Heyo and welcome, Omnidogs and Omnikittens. I am Omnidog, and this is Omnidog's Vault, where I will be talking about hidden gems today. Now, the point of hidden gems is to alert you to books that are out there that you may not be aware of. So, superheroes are cool. DC, Marvel, Image, those are all... Wait, yeah, I do have a Marvel and DC book in here. Okay, but it's about books that may have gone under your radar, that are worth reading, because that's what the channel is about. Telling you about books that are worth reading that I present to you. Right? Okay, good. Now, the whole purpose of comic books is to have fun. That's my philosophy. So all of these books are fun. Now, some guy came on my show one time and said, "What's your definition of fun?" And I'm like, I don't know. I just know when I have it. I just have fun. So let's start with the first fun book that I like that you may not have heard of, Sort of Super. And no, I don't do any editing in any of these. And there's a good reason for that. I'm lazy and I don't wanna. So Sort of Super by Eric Gapster is a book I got from Amazon. I haven't been able to find it anywhere but there. And it deals with, first of all, the art is like cartooning, but really amazing. It involves a young boy named Wyatt who lost his mother and has a sheriff for a father and a little sister that's very smart. Wyatt has superpowers, but his dad doesn't want anybody to know, because then Wyatt would get discovered and it would get all over the place. And so Wyatt gets moved to a new town after his mom dies and makes friends. His sister's just a little bit younger, but his sister helps him because he's not really very good with his powers. He's not really a great hero. He's great at having the powers, but he kind of needs his little sister to help him. And so she helps him in the beginning to learn how to use his powers. Of course, there are many adventures through this book, all of them with this great art and dialogue that Eric Gapster has created. The central conceit is that small animals have gone missing in this town, eventually working their way up to a small child has become missing from this town. And it's Wyatt's father, the sheriff of this town that they just moved to. He's trying to solve, well, mostly the little kid being missing. But where is everything going? Where is it disappearing to? It's very fun, very funny, exceptionally written, and you will have a blast at this. It involves, a principal. Well, okay, I don't want to give too much away. There's a principal in their school who seems to have a mysterious zoo down in his basement where he's keeping a lot of animals. Are they the missing animals? Well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but that's one of the clues. And his sister is so smart that she decides to join Wyatt in the superhero quest and calls herself A+. And he calls himself Wyatt. So it's a rollicking adventure. Grandma's involved. And this, as I say, I can't get enough of this art. They solve a huge mystery. They make friends. They save the world. They start to wonder. There are mysterious forces at work regarding these missing animals and this child. I don't want to spoil it any further, but it's not necessarily of this world. And of course, there's bullies. Wait, there's a bully, of course, because they're in school and they give the bully what he's due, But a lot of fun, under the radar. I don't know that too many people know about this book. If you know about this book, how come you didn't tell me about it then? I had to find out through Comics Beat about it. So, Sort of Super, definitely a top read of 2022. Next we have a couple of books that are out of print, but they're dirt cheap on eBay. And you may have heard of them. You may already have them or had read them. But the first one I'm going to talk about is Starfire by Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner, the genius team behind Harley Quinn's revival under New 52 and Rebirth. They are hilarious writers. They are great. Now, Starfire is, of course, from a different planet, and it involves her at first leaving the Teen Titans because she wants to experience more and learn on her own what it's like to live on this planet. She is very naive, and she decides to relocate in Key West. I forget how they ended up. She goes to Superman for help, and maybe Superman recommends it. She has no idea about money or clothes or what's proper in American culture. So she doesn't sleep around, but she does walk around barely covered a lot of the time, which is fine. I mean, she's always covered, but she takes things very literally at first. She's still learning the language and the people. She can learn languages of anybody she kisses, including a dolphin who is very lonely in her first job in an aquarium. So it involves a lot of, they'll say things like, shoot you in the kneecaps. She goes to a sheriff at first and asks, I need your help. And it's she just barges into the office, and the sheriff says okay to it. Sheriff has a brother has lost his wife, brother is on I guess kind of the local Coast Guard, and they have to deal with hurricanes and things. But she takes things Starfire takes things very literally, and will always have these little thought bubbles in her head. Like if somebody calls somebody a cement head, she'll picture a guy with a cement head, or shoot you in the kneecaps, and that's what she's thinking. So she has to learn sarcasm, she has to learn humor, she has to learn the ways of blending in, even though she has orange skin. And there are multiple adventures across these two volumes. The fun is in her getting used to culture, risking her life to save people, because that's what she does. And there's hurricanes, there's alien invaders, there's a doctor who used to save people that's now a murderer. There's travel into the earth. It is all very funny and very well written. I expect nothing less from Conner and Palmiotti, and they do an exceptionally great job of making this book funny and interesting and very well written, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in this book. In the hands of lesser writers, it would be confusing. It all flows perfectly. See, here's like a sea rescue, and it deals with her having to save some grandmother's birdie, and she finally gets a job and learns how to spend money instead of throwing money around, and get some clothes. It's all hilarious and fun. I dug the heck out of it, and I'm so happy to have these books. Now, you can get them both on eBay for cheap, as I said. Starfire 1, Starfire 2. Starfire 1's called Welcome Home. Starfire 2 is called A Matter of Time. I think Matter of Time's even lower than cover price. Dick Grayson shows up, who used to be a boyfriend of Starfire when they were in the Teen Titans, or the Titans rather. So he makes an interesting appearance. Of course, they make out because they were former boyfriend and girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. Now, I will say that while a lot of people are after Starfire, and she defends herself very well, very strong. She may be naive, but she can kick ass, which I dig. The art does do a bit of a radical change from this to an art style that's sort of Darwin Cookish. Let's see if I can get a good example. It's not Darwin Cook, but it looks sort of like Darwin Cook. And it's fine, but you just need to be aware that it does happen. It's all very bright and colorful. She only has, her only possession really is a bag full of jewels, and they take it to a pawn dealer, friend of the sheriff's, and he says, a couple of these might be eggs. So keep that in mind when we say one of them might be eggs. I think I just showed you what one of the eggs hatches into. They take a journey into the center of the earth with another friend she made that turns out to be a superhero from the center of the earth. That's a whole thing. I already told you, it's really well done, hilarious, and worth getting. So check out Starfire 1 and 2. Then the next book was recommended to me by the Minister of Comics. He said, did you know there's a Cyclops book written by Greg Rucka? I said, I did not know that. Where can I find it? Well, it's on eBay and it's cheap. And he was right. It's not expensive. It's quite cheap. It's called Starstruck by Greg Rucka, dealing with the young Cyclops that was brought into the current modern era in Marvel by Brian Michael Bendis. And he decides he wants to know his father, Corsair, of the Starjammers. So they go on an adventure on Corsair's ship with his crew. And it involves, first of all, it's Greg Rucka, so you know it's well written. And it is. They go on a lot of adventures of intergalactic excitement. They learn about young Cyclops has a lot of questions of Corsair. What happened to our mom? What happened to you? He finds out that he has another brother named Vulcan. And what happened to him? I dislike that Vulcan retcon so much, and I'm so glad we don't have to deal with it anymore. They take journeys to black market planets. They get marooned on a place. And Corsair is constantly being sought out by bounty hunters because he is a bit of a space pirate. And when I say a bit, he is. The art is really great because all of these interesting aliens are so well done. They are constantly interacting with aliens, and the art is quite kinetic and beautiful. The whole point is that young Cyclops wants to get to know Corsair. They bond, they tell each other stuff. Corsair's kind of not feeling well. He's hiding it from his son. And it looks like to Cyclops that Corsair may be buying drugs on the black market to get high. That's what Cyclops thinks. And the truth comes out when they're on the deserted island or planet or wherever they are. It's exciting. It's fun. It's action-packed. It is really well written. The characters are relatable and interesting. Good characterization. You want characters you can care about. Otherwise, you're not going to be interested in finishing the book. You care about Corsair and Cyclops in this book, and Corsair's crew too, as you want to find out what Cyclops wants to know. What happened to his mom? What happened to this other brother? What happened? Why is current Cyclops so filled with rage and anger, and young Cyclops doesn't want to turn into that? Well, it's a whole father-son thing. Those of you who like father-son books will love this book. Those of you who don't, you will also love this book because it's Greg Rucka and it's really well written. Cyclops, Starstruck. Thin, it's only like 5 issues. Now the last 2 books are in print and you can get them. And I should mention organicpricebooks.com with the code, and this will be in the description, $2 off using the code Omnidog. And you can get another 5% off using the code Omnidog Ship It Together. So check out the description below. There's going to be a link to take you to Organic Price Books. I doubt you can get any of these books there, but they've got a ton of other books in stock, pre-ordered, all kinds of things that you can get there. Great shipping, immediate service, great customer service. So go to organicpricebooks.com. Now this is written by Cynthia Von Buller. She's a performance artist from New York. And this is called Minky Woodcock. It's a hard case crime book from Titan Comics. The Girl Who Handcuffed Houdini. And the second one is The Girl Who Electrified Tesla. She writes and illustrates these books, and they're a little R-rated, so I have to be careful what I can show you. Minky this is the first book's in the 20s, so she's a bit of a flapper with a drinking problem. She likes her pet bunny. Her father doesn't take her seriously. He's got a private investigating office, and he's friends with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Lots of historic figures are in these books, both of them. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle comes by while her father's out, and he hires her. Whoops, I can't show you that because some of these seances are in the nude. But Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was known for believing in seances and spiritualists, and Houdini at the time in the 20s was dead set on disproving all these seances and spiritualism stuff was phony. So, whoops, can't show you that. Can't show you that. What's going on here? Can I show you that? No, I can't show you that. Okay, I can't show you this. So the art is, I like the art. It took me a little bit to get used to it, but it's quite good. It involves Harry Houdini and his tricks. And then he hires her, or his wife hires her, to help Houdini. His wife is kind of sickly and knows Houdini sleeps around. I'm going to spoil it by saying, yes, Minky sleeps with Houdini. Minky sleeps with whoever Minky wants to sleep with and kicks the ass of people who come on to her and she doesn't want to sleep with. So I like it. She's take no prisoners and lives her life the way she wants to. So we go through can't show you that. There's a lot of nudity in these. So you're going to have, you know, we're all grown-ups here. So if you're not a grown-up, you shouldn't be watching this. But she's suspicious of a nurse that's been following along with Houdini and the wife. And it deals with her solving the case of solving the cases that she is hired to do. No, can't show you that. Can't show you that. No, I can't show you that. She helps Houdini in debunking some of the spiritual stuff, and she helps him with his act. And it deals with the fact that, yeah, Houdini does die after getting punched in the stomach really hard by the college student, and it ruptures his appendix. And there's a twist that the widow of Houdini has Minky involved with. I would rate this a solid 3.8 out of 5. Not quite a 4. It sort of got, it jumps a little bit. But it's still a ton of fun to read. And the next book, first of all, the cover doesn't have anything to do with the book. I don't know why they chose this. The cover doesn't have a thing. That's not even Minky there. The Girl Who Electrified Tesla. She's hired by corporate guys to find out if Nikola Tesla, the inventor of AC current, alternating current, as opposed to Edison's direct current, if Tesla has the plans for a death ray and what they can do. I won't show that. That's kind of grisly. But they want to get their hands on the plans for the death ray if it exists. She ends up befriending Tesla, finds out the truth about it. Here she is kicking the ass of some sailors who are trying to take advantage of her. She's having none of it. Good for her. She is constantly escaping out of jams. Josephine Baker's in this, as well as Tesla, and some other stuff that is factually brought into this. It's obviously historical fiction. It's better than the Houdini book. I give this a 4.5 out of 5 because it flows much better. And there you go. Let's see some more artwork. No, I can't show you that. Nope, can't show you that. No, I don't think I should show you that. She also has a brother that is a star on Broadway. And she's, they constantly are on her about her drinking. But she's a better private investigator than her father. And of course, she ends up taking over the business. This is set in the 40s, as opposed to the earlier book. So she's 10 years older. She's arrested for the death of somebody, I won't tell, but the plot involves Nazis and corporate greed and how Tesla got jacked out of any kind of royalties that he deserved from all his inventions, and of course that elusive death ray. So I dug this book. If you're a crime fan, okay, this is okay to show. Here's Josephine Baker, who she makes fast friends with and maybe gets a little friendlier with. It's fast-paced. It seems a little bit believable. Both books are close enough to the historical facts that they seem believable. So I give Cynthia von Buller credit for that, weaving in facts with her made-up story with Minky Woodcock. And I found it to be, well, no, I don't want to show you that because it spoils it. Yeah. I didn't want to show you the part at the very end. But I highly recommend these books because they show Minky is a really cool, interesting character who is out to prove herself. Maybe she has a drinking problem. Hey, I'm not pointing fingers at that. The art, I think once you get used to it, is very smooth and flows well from panel to panel. And I found these to be really well-written, interesting, hard crime cases. There's definitely 4 or 5 things that happen in each book. She weaves them, the writer and illustrator, the creator, weaves them together well. And I found them to be exceptional fun. So there you have my hidden gems for this episode, which I'm going to call More Hidden Gems, because that's what it is. And I'll be back with more book recommendations in a later video. And my remote isn't working on my new phone, so I have to push it off like this. So remember to go to organicpricebooks.com, subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment on Omnidog's Vault, and I'm also on Omnidogs_Vault on Instagram. Peace and love, peace and love.